So I made a video last week about all the common mistakes that people make when buying a house. And so it got really good feedback from all of you that are watching the videos. And many people asked me, awesome, makes a ton of sense. What about when selling a home? Brandon, what are the most common mistakes that people are making that we need to avoid when selling a home? And so in today's video, there are 10 common mistakes that people are making when selling their property, and I'm gonna jump right into them right now. So with that, number 10, feedback is a gift. So when you put your property on the market and you as the seller are always asking people like me as your real estate agent, Brandon, I want feedback, I want feedback, I want feedback. Well, the thing we have to make peace with is any and all feedback is a gift. What do I mean by that? Well, not everybody has the same taste as you. And so the feedback that we get, sometimes sellers take it personally and they get upset, they get frustrated. Understand that selling a home, there's really three main stresses in life. There's, unfortunately, we have to deal with death. Sometimes we have to deal with divorce, which is the number 2 stressor in life. And then the third, out of all the stresses that we deal with in life, number 3 at the top of the list is selling a home. Okay, so make sure that when you are getting feedback, that you don't allow that feedback to add on to the stress and to the anxiety of moving and selling a home. Number 9 on the list, not having a pre-listing inspection. I cannot tell you how many times we put a homeowner's property up for sale. We don't do the pre-listing inspection. That's $300-$400 out of your pocket. I understand some people want to save the money. Then what happens is, and I made other videos about this, the home has to sell 3 times. You've got to get an offer, it's going to go through a home buyer's inspection, and then it's got to get an appraisal. Well, during that home inspection period, the buyer finds all kinds of things that we didn't know about, and they want to negotiate thousands of dollars off of the price. Well, wouldn't it only make sense that we invest $300-$400 up front, get our own inspector to inspect the home before we put the property on the market, so we know what we're dealing with, so that we can potentially take care of some small issues that don't come up later after the buyer does their home inspection. Number 8 on my list is not having a flexible schedule around showings. So listen, I can't, it's amazing to me how many people want to sell their home, and then when we call them to say, listen, the marketing's working, we went out there, we found some interested buyers on your property, and then the seller says, I don't want to show it now, I don't want to show it tomorrow, we're busy this weekend, we don't want to show it this weekend. And so the thing you have to consider is when you're showing your property, is it going to be super inconvenient? Absolutely. Are people going to want to see your property when you don't feel like getting the kids out of the house and getting the dog out of the house and getting the house all cleaned up? Certainly. But I think the thing that you have to consider is that buyers, any buyer showing, someone that wants to walk through your property, they've saw your property online, they talked to their spouse about it, they wanted to walk through the home, that's an interested buyer. And so I would encourage you, if you're going to sell your property, to know that yes, the showings are going to be annoying. They're going to be people are going to want to see your house when you don't want people to see your house. Just know we've got to show the property. We have to have a flexible schedule, at least during the point in the process where we're showing the home to potential buyers before we have an offer. Next on my list is not offering a home warranty. All right, so this is how this works. It's a very simple concept. There are things that you can do up front to make your home more attractive. Think about when you go and buy a used car and you look at 2 vehicles. One offers a warranty, one doesn't offer a warranty. What does that do to you immediately? Well, the one that offers a home warranty gives you what? More confidence. And so typically, not always, but typically, homes that offer up a home warranty up front to potential buyers increases the buyer's confidence in your home, and we typically see homes selling with home warranties sell for a premium because we're going out into the marketplace from a confidence standpoint, telling all the buyers, listen, we've had this home inspected. We feel confident about the property. We have nothing to hide. So much so that we're even offering a home warranty to the buyer of this home. So just think about that the next time that you go and put your property on the market. Number 6 on my list, selling for sale by owner. Now, I understand a lot of people out there, when they sell their house, consider, well, I don't want to pay real estate commissions. I'd rather save the money. Well, there's a lot to talk about, and I'll make another video on this, but I'll give you a couple things to consider right now. Number 1, think about the buyer that is out there shopping people's homes that are selling on their own. The buyer that is shopping for sale by owners. Think about that person for just a second. I'm going to relate it back to buying a used car. The people that shop for used cars off of a Craigslist, they don't want to go shop from the dealership. They don't want to deal with the dealership. They want to go look for the car on Craigslist. Why? There's only one reason. They want a deal. And so the same thing happens in real estate. People know that they can't haggle on price when a property is listed with a professional real estate company. So much so, there's a fact behind this that homes right now in Metro Detroit, on average, that are selling with a real estate company are selling for about 98% of their asking price. Well, when we relate that to people selling for sale by owner, we see that ratio drop significantly. So the people that are actually successful in selling their home on their own, they're on average getting about 16, 17, sometimes 18% less than their asking price because they're dealing with buyers that want to haggle. They want a deal just like you don't want to pay a real estate commission. So that's just the first thing to consider. The other thing to consider is this. You have to ask yourself, and you have to think about this. How much does it cost a buyer to work with a real estate professional like myself? How much does it cost a buyer to work with a realtor? $0. It does not cost a buyer any money. So when you look at that, the most qualified buyers, the people out there that are really taking this seriously, that are willing to pay a premium for your home, they have representation. Why? It's free. So all the savvy buyers out there are working with real estate agents to find them their home. And so you're telling all of those people, we don't want any of those buyers. We want to appeal to the buyers out there that have no real estate agents. That goes back to my first point. Those type of people are looking for the deal. So you're going to have a lot of people trying to haggle over price. And so those are just two things. There's many, many other statistics out there, but selling for sale by owner can be very, very challenging. Next on my list, number 5, the presentation of your property. Now, I say those words and you say, yeah, Brandon, I get it. That's an obvious one. Well, you'd be shocked. Like when somebody walks through your property as a potential buyer, you, of course, as the seller, want to sell your house for a premium. I've never met a seller in my life that says, yeah, I really want to give this house away. I want to get beat up on price. No, every seller wants a premium for their home. Matter of fact, not only do they want a premium, but most sellers, and this is the part you're supposed to laugh, most sellers think that they can sell their house for more than every other house out there. They think their house is better than all their neighbors' homes, that they have the Taj Mahal of the neighborhood. And maybe you do, which is great. So if that's the case, when we walk through the property to show the home to a potential buyer, first impressions are everything. So what do I mean? Certainly we got to get the dog smell out. Certainly you should not be smoking in your house if you're trying to sell your home. Yes, the house should be amazingly clean. Yes, it should be scented nicely. People go as far as cooking the brownies and the cookies. It does help. It shows appreciation for the buyer's interest in your home. The presentation of your home when we walk somebody through your property absolutely matters. So take the time to make sure that presentation, we only got one shot at it. The buyer's first impression, they're deciding if this is the house for them or not, literally within minutes of walking through your home. We don't want to lose that opportunity. Next on the list, number 4, the 4th most common mistake that I'm seeing is putting money in the wrong places. Now, I will make another video about this too. Sellers and homeowners have a really, really tough time with what I'm about to say. There are two things when it comes to selling a home or getting a value for your home. There are things and renovations that you can make to your home that help saleability, making it easier to sell versus getting value for the home. Let me give you an example. So all the time, let me just give you a couple examples. A roof as an example. Homeowners will say, Brandon, I just put on a brand new roof. Doesn't that warrant me being able to sell that house for more money? And the answer is probably not. That helps it sell, but it doesn't help it sell for more money. Why? Well, because a buyer is assuming, the entire marketplace assumes that the house has a roof and the roof doesn't leak. That's an assumption that the buyer market makes automatically. The roof doesn't say to somebody, all right, this house is gonna sell for more money. It's debatable. Typically, things that help a house sell for more money are what buyers can see. Kitchens, bathrooms, floorings, updates, right? That's what people want to see. Let me give you another example. New electrical. Brandon, I just did all the electrical in the property. I should be able to get more money for my house. No, that helps it. That's a saleability part of the property, but it's not going to help it sell for more. People assume that when they go to flick on the light at the house, that the electrical works. You don't get a premium because you have new electrical, okay? We've got to focus. Buyers are not willing to pay a premium for things they can't see and that they can't see. You could debate that all day long. The reality is buyers are not willing to pay a premium for things they don't get to experience or things they can't see. Let me give you one more example. The new furnace or the new AC, right? This is another thing that helps saleability. It doesn't correlate necessarily to you getting more for your home. And so I have sellers all the time. Well, Brandon, I just put a brand new furnace in. Shouldn't I get that $8,000 back in sales price? Absolutely not. You're not gonna get that back. The buyers assume that the furnace works. You know, like when you go sell a house, it's assumed that you have a furnace and it works. The fact that it's new or old, I mean, again, those things help sellability. They don't help you get more money, okay? So the takeaway there is talk with your real estate agent about, hey, where should I put this money if you're planning to sell your home? Most of the renovation should be done because you're living there and it's helping, it's for you. It's not to a potential buyer unless you're gonna sell the house. Next on the list, number 3. One of the most common mistakes is not interviewing more than one real estate agent. It is too common right now that because the market has been so good that everybody, including you watching this, knows somebody that's a real estate agent. Is that enough to hire that person just because you know them? And my opinion is maybe. I believe that you should be interviewing 2 to 3 real estate agents before hiring somebody to sell your largest asset you will ever have in your life, being your home, because you get perspective. And you can never argue the fact that having perspective is a bad thing. Chances are maybe you do hire your mom that just got her real estate license last week. Chances are you do hire, little cousin Johnny that got his real estate license and you want to help him out. I get it. But wouldn't it make sense that you had perspective that of other top agents in the marketplace, what they're doing from a marketing perspective, their understanding of a pricing strategy that will cause your home to actually sell for a premium versus other homes? Wouldn't it be nice to have all of that perspective before making that decision? I can't think of any downside. So number 2 on the list is a biggie. I really struggled with if this should be number 1 or not, but nonetheless, pricing. I mean, it is such a common issue that a homeowner, and I've done this same thing myself, looks at what we call market value. This is what the data suggests. This is not a you or a real estate agent saying, this is what I think the house is worth. This is what I think the house should sell for. This is a market-driven number that suggests the home should sell for X. And a homeowner like you wants to try and sell it for more money. And the problem with that is what I'm about to kind of walk you through. And that is your entire experience selling a home comes down to time. And here's what I mean. Imagine for just a second. You see a property. Now you're the buyer of a home, okay? Go out there and you look for a home that you absolutely fall in love with, and you say, Brandon, this is the home that I want. And this home has been on the market for 1 day. Well, what do you think I'm gonna turn back around and tell you we have to do in order to get the property? Well, certainly I'm gonna ask that we come through with our best, our strongest offer, so that we can appeal to the seller, so the seller will accept the offer, because it's only been on the market for 1 day. Chances are there's probably more than one buyer interested in the home. Chances are the seller probably wouldn't look at anything less than the asking price their first day on the market, just like you wouldn't. However, take that same example. You find a house on the market, you love it, you want the house, but it's been on the market for 3 months. Well, now what are you asking yourself? We probably have some negotiation room. This is a situation where we could probably go in under the asking price. Why? Because we know all the other buyers in the marketplace have passed this up at this point. You don't have the competition. The seller certainly is probably more flexible at this point because the house hasn't sold for a couple of months, and they're more flexible to looking at some other options. So, which seller do you want to be? And this is why we always tell people, your offer price is directly correlated to how long your home is on the market. This is why we see homes get multiple offers in bidding wars their first 2-3 days on the market. We never see the bidding war when a house that's sit on the market for 6 months. Nobody wants it. So you can decide on your experience based on what I'm talking about. And how do you do that? Well, if your property, I'll just give you an example. If your property's value is coming in at $350,000, as an example, from a market value standpoint, if you put the property on the market, you make a decision with your real estate agent to put the property on the market at $350,000, in today's market with such a lack of inventory, it should sell immediately. Assuming that the condition is there and all of those other things, it should sell with multiple offers within the first week. This is what we're seeing almost every single time we put a house on the market. Now, on the flip side, you can have that experience and you can enjoy it. You can drive the process. You can have all the leverage in the negotiation if you price it right from day one. If you decide, well, Brandon, I know the market analysis is saying $350. I really want to try at $375. Fine. You could run the risk of sitting on the market for too long and then lose that time, that leverage that sellers get in the beginning, and ultimately end up running the risk of selling it for less than market value. In this example, $350. Why? Because the buyers have no urgency. They have no reason to give you a great offer if your house sits on the market for a long period of time. So really, number two, and one of the most common mistakes is we're seeing sellers really want to overprice their house because I get it. They're emotionally invested. They want to make sure they don't leave any money on the table. That's fine. Just have that conversation with your agent to say, okay, what are the average days on market? How soon should my house sell? And making sure you're paying attention to those time frames. Okay, now, number one. The number one mistake that I'm seeing sellers make, we talked about people not interviewing more than one agent. The number one mistake is hiring the wrong agent. Here's what I mean by this. People are hiring agents all the time. They're hiring real estate agents that do not have a marketing plan. They don't have a marketing plan that they can prove to the seller. What are you going to do to sell my house? You should be asking this at the interviews. You should be reviewing a plan with the real estate agent. If they can't produce one, if mom that just got her license last weekend has no marketing plan, maybe you got to just consider that. Number two, they have no communication plan. Number one complaint in this industry, in the real estate industry, is after you hire a real estate agent like myself, all of the communication goes down the toilet because most real estate agents cannot tell you the truth. They're too scared. They're too concerned with getting you to like them so that you list your home with them rather than telling you the truth. So what do? They don't tell you anything. You can't get them to answer their phone. You can't get them to call you back. You can't get them to shoot you straight. You can never get the truth out of them, and they don't provide updates. So your stress and your anxiety goes through the roof. And then lastly, they don't have the experience. And so You really have to consider all of these 10 different things when selling a home because there's so much on the line for you. Yes, there's financially a lot of money on the table, but certainly this is your life we're talking about, right? So when moving, I think it's critical that you interview multiple agents. You take all 10 things that I took into consideration, or that I walked you through in today's video, before you go out there and put your property on the market. So I'll end with this. If I can be of service, and I'm not suggesting that you go out there and you just hire me automatically because of this video. What I am asking is that we sit down, we schedule time, and you interview me to help you get your property sold. And if after that video you feel confident that I can get the job done, I'd be honored to get your property sold. So I'll put all my contact information beneath this video, or you can send me a private message on Facebook. Be happy to sit down with you, walk you through my marketing plan of action, walk you through what it is that I'm doing to help people sell their homes, and then you'll decide if working together makes any sense. So until next time, happy house hunting. Let me know how I can be of service. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and we'll see you guys in the next video next week. Thanks for watching.